1000 SDOB. Sisters. Season 7, Episode 8, Recap. Tammy undergoes skin removal surgery. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For 1000 pounds sister latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Season 7, Episode 8 of 1000 LB. Sisters marks a pivotal and emotionally resonant chapter in Tammy Slaton's ongoing journey toward health, self-acceptance, and transformation. Titled New Skin, New Start, this episode centers around Tammy's long-anticipated and deeply personal decision to undergo post-bariatric body contouring surgery, specifically, the removal of excess skin following her significant weight loss. The episode doesn't rely on dramatic confrontations or sensationalized moments. Instead, it leans into vulnerability, introspection, and the quiet courage required to face one's changing body after massive physical transformation. From the very beginning of the series, Tammy and her sister Amy Halberd have captured the hearts and sometimes frustrations of viewers as they navigated life at extreme weights, battled addiction, sought medical intervention, and attempted to rebuild their lives. Tammy's journey has been particularly turbulent. Multiple hospitalizations, failed relationships, emotional setbacks, and periods of regression have punctuated her path. Yet, through it all, she has maintained a spark of hope and a growing commitment to her well-being. Her gastric bypass surgery in earlier seasons was a turning point, and since then, she has lost over 200 pounds, a monumental achievement that has brought both physical relief and new emotional challenges. One of the less discussed but profoundly impactful consequences of rapid, massive weight loss is the presence of loose, hanging skin. For many, this excess tissue is not just a cosmetic concern, but a source of physical discomfort, hygiene issues, limited mobility, and psychological distress. Tammy has spoken openly in previous episodes about how the sagging skin made her feel trapped in her old body, even as she celebrated her weight loss. She described difficulty finding clothes that fit, chafing during everyday movement, and a persistent sense of shame when looking in the mirror. This episode finally addresses that lingering burden. The episode opens not in a hospital or doctor's office, but in Tammy's home, where she's packing a small suitcase for her upcoming surgery. The scene is intimate and understated. There's no fanfare, no dramatic music, just Tammy folding clothes, pausing occasionally to look at herself in the mirror. Her expression is a mix of nervousness and resolve. She calls Amy, who arrives within minutes, offering her usual blend of tough love and unwavering support. Their dynamic remains one of the show's emotional anchors. Amy, often the more pragmatic and grounded of the two, tries to keep Tammy focused on the practical aspects of recovery, while Tammy reveals her deeper fears. "What if I still don't feel like me after this?" she asks quietly. The sisters' conversation touches on the emotional weight of the surgery. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about shedding a physical reminder of a painful past. Tammy admits that every time she sees the loose skin, she's reminded of the years she spent bedridden, isolated, and struggling to breathe. Removing it, she hopes, will help her fully embrace the person she's becoming. Not just the number on the scale, but the woman who now walks daily, cooks her own meals, and dreams of a future with her son. The episode then shifts to the pre-operative consultation with Dr. Matthew Briggs, the plastic surgeon who has been working with Tammy for months to plan the procedure. Dr. Briggs explains the scope of the surgery. A lower body lift, which involves removing excess skin and fat from the abdomen, hips, buttocks, and thighs, and tightening the underlying tissue. He emphasizes that while the results can be transformative, recovery will be challenging. Weeks of limited mobility, careful wound care, and potential complications. Tammy listens intently, asking thoughtful questions about pain management and timeline. Her engagement reflects how far she's come. Earlier seasons often showed her avoiding medical appointments or dismissing professional advice. Now, she's an active participant in her care. What's notable about this episode is how it resists the temptation to sensationalize the surgery itself. There are no graphic close-ups or dramatic operating room sequences. Instead, the focus remains on Tammy's internal experience. The actual surgery is conveyed through brief, respectful shots of the hospital corridor, the anesthesiologist checking vitals, and Amy waiting anxiously in the lobby. The real story unfolds in the moments before and after. Tammy's vulnerability, her hopes, and the quiet strength she summons. Post-surgery, comma. Tammy is groggy but alert. She winces as she shifts in bed, clearly in pain, but manages a small smile when Amy enters the room. The sisters share a tender moment, Amy gently adjusting Tammy's blanket, Tammy reaching for her hand. It's a stark contrast to earlier seasons, where their interactions were often laced with resentment, blame, or enabling behavior. Now, there's a mutual respect and genuine care that speaks to their growth as individuals and as siblings. Over the next few days, the episode documents Tammy's early recovery. Viewers see her struggling to sit up, relying on a walker to take short steps down the hospital hallway, and carefully following post-op instructions. Nurses praise her compliance and positive attitude. Tammy, usually prone to dramatic outbursts or emotional withdrawal when in pain, shows remarkable resilience. She acknowledges the discomfort, but frames it as worth it. In a voiceover, she reflects, "For so long, I hated my body. Now, even though it hurts, I'm doing something to love it again." Back at home, the challenges intensify. Tammy must wear a compression garment 24/7, avoid lifting anything heavier than 5 pounds, and keep her incision sites clean and dry. Simple tasks like showering become complex logistical operations. Amy steps in as her primary caregiver, helping with meals, laundry, and monitoring for signs of infection. Their codependency, once a source of dysfunction, now manifests as healthy interdependence. Amy sets boundaries. You need to rest, not scroll TikTok all day while still providing emotional support. Tammy, for her part, listens and complies, showing a maturity that would have been unthinkable in earlier seasons. One of the most powerful scenes occurs about a week after surgery. Tammy is sitting on her couch, wrapped in her compression garment, when she catches a glimpse of her reflection in a darkened TV screen. She freezes. The camera lingers on her face as she processes what she sees, not the loose skin she's spent years hiding from, but the emerging contours of her new body. Tears well up, but they're not tears of sadness. "I can see my waist," she whispers, almost in disbelief. It's a small moment, but it carries immense weight. For Tammy, this isn't vanity. It's validation. It's proof that her hard work, her pain, her discipline, they've all led to something tangible, something real. The episode also touches on the financial and logistical realities of such a procedure. Unlike her gastric bypass, which was covered by insurance due to medical necessity, this skin removal surgery is considered cosmetic by many providers and thus largely out of pocket. Tammy reveals that she saved for over a year, cutting back on non-essentials and even selling some of her jewelry to afford it. This detail underscores her commitment. This wasn't a whim or a quick fix. It was a carefully planned investment in her future self. Throughout the episode, there are subtle callbacks to Tammy's past. Old photos flash on screen, Tammy at her heaviest, struggling to stand, surrounded by fast food wrappers. These aren't shown to shame her, but to highlight the distance she's traveled. The contrast is jarring, yet hopeful. The woman in those photos would never have believed she'd one day undergo major surgery not to lose weight, but to reclaim her body after losing it. Importantly, the episode doesn't present the surgery as a happy ending. Tammy acknowledges that healing, both physical and emotional, is ongoing. She still battles food cravings, still has days when her mental health feels fragile, and still worries about maintaining her progress. But there's a newfound confidence in her voice, a steadiness in her gaze. She's no longer waiting for a miracle. She's building her life, one careful step at a time. The final scenes show Tammy 2 weeks post-op, taking a slow walk around her neighborhood with Amy by her side. They don't talk much, just enjoy the sunshine and the rhythm of their steps. Tammy pauses to look at a tree in bloom and turns to Amy and says, "I think I'm ready to start dating again." Amy laughs, "About time." It's a light moment, but it speaks volumes. Tammy is beginning to imagine a future that includes joy, connection, and possibility, not just survival. In many ways, Season 7, Episode 8 is a quiet triumph. It doesn't rely on the shock value or high drama that sometimes characterizes reality TV. Instead, it offers a nuanced, compassionate portrait of a woman confronting the aftermath of transformation. Tammy's skin removal surgery isn't just about appearance. It's about shedding the last physical vestiges of a life she's worked so hard to leave behind. It's about stepping into a body that finally matches the strength she's cultivated within. The episode ends with Tammy standing in front of her mirror, this time fully awake and present. She lifts her compression garment slightly, not with shame, but with curiosity and pride. The camera doesn't zoom in on the scars or the swelling. It stays on her face, on the quiet smile that forms as she meets her own eyes. "This is me," she says softly. And for the first time in a long time, she believes it. 1000-LB. Sisters has always been more than a show about weight loss. It's a story about identity, resilience, and the messy, non-linear path to self-worth. In this episode, Tammy doesn't just remove excess skin, she removes another layer of doubt, fear, and self-rejection. What remains is not perfection, but possibility. And in the world of reality television, where transformation is often reduced to before and after photos, this episode dares to show the in-between, the tender, painful, hopeful space where real change takes root.